Hello friends. In today's video, I am doing something a little differently. I've been having a lot of issues trying to get an audio that I am happy with. I find that I can't seem to find a happy medium. I personally don't like a lot of white noise or like background noise, static humming. It personally really irritates me, at least with my own personal audio, because that's not how I want my audio to sound. So I'm going to try and film my quote-unquote vocals separate from keyboard sounds, so I have better control and an easier time editing. Because I also noticed that I could edit my background noise for keyboard sounds or my voice, but I couldn't do it simultaneously. And with some EQ and like background noise reduction, it adds a strange sound quality to vocals where it sounds kind of hollow or like tinny, and a lot of my vocal range seemed to be quite similar to a lot of the background noise that I was getting. And I think I just need to be closer to my mic, but I can't really control my quality as well while I'm playing. And I also noticed that for whatever reason, I have a terribly hard time trying to focus while I'm playing and trying to record at the same time. I'm not sure if it's because I am a tad anxious and I want to play as well as I can, but also trying to think about things to talk about at the same time. And even though I would kind of think of things that I'd want to talk about before, and I wouldn't really like script it or anything, but when I tried to talk about it during my videos, my brain just could not compute. So, going to try something a little differently. I'm not going to comment too much on my gameplay. I think it's just going to be more visual ASMR. Plus there's a lot of sounds that I know are going to happen while I'm recording this, like my freezer or people in the lobby are sometimes really loud. And I know I'm going to have to cut out some things, so it's not going to line up as great as I would like. But we're trying new things. I'm also going to try to layer some sounds. I'm not really doing like trigger style ASMR, maybe kind of, but I don't focus a whole lot on doing specific triggers. I kind of try to focus on doing unintentional style ASMR. This is the kind of ASMR that I enjoy listening to the most and that I want to make. There are other videos that I would eventually like to make, but I'm not exactly sure if it's something that I would put on this channel or make a new channel, because I don't think it really fits with the theme of this channel, because it's not really going to be gaming related. And I kind of do want to keep this gaming related. I also worry about being too repetitive with things. But I think I just need to kind of let go of that concern, because people would argue that playing Overwatch in itself is repetitive, and even though there is always a common objective that you're always working towards, to me it always feels different because I have the ability to play different characters in different roles and adapt to different playstyles and adapt to how my team plays and how the other team plays. And I do have a lot of gameplay that I've recorded, and either it has really bad audio or somehow I managed to not record any audio at all, which is kind of strange to me because a lot of these clips in this video didn't have audio. Like, I checked it in a million different places and it was not playing audio. And then today when I was working on it, they magically had audio. I'm really confused and I don't really know why that happened, but I guess it doesn't really matter because I already decided that I'm going to record over top anyways, or add other audio. Anyways, enough rambling about that. Quick side note, I am a verbal processor and I like to talk about my ideas and what I'm thinking and kind of like what I want to work towards and what I'm kind of hoping for things. I think some people don't like that for some reason, but I enjoy hearing these things. I enjoy talking about these things. And even though I am creating content, I am still a person and I still have thoughts and ideas outside of just making content. Okay, now to some other stuff. The new season of Overwatch is out. This video has gameplay from it. I have really been enjoying the perks for my own personal gameplay. I haven't particularly noticed other people's perks a whole lot. I know there's a lot of good ones, but I feel like things happen so fast anyways, it's kind of hard to decipher whether it's the perk or I'm just getting diffed. I would say I definitely notice Doomfist. Doomfist does way more damage with that seismic slam one, since a lot of people kind of group up against Doomfists and end up getting punched a lot and it hurts, which is why in this specific clip I switched to Echo so I wouldn't get caught in the punch, because I really dislike getting punched by Doomfist. And I guess the other one that I also notice is if Soldier takes that stim pack one, and I'm like, why is he anti? We don't have an Ana. And then I'm like, right, he took that perk. I would say some perks are definitely kind of useless. Like the Zen perk where he kind of can float. I genuinely don't understand the point of it. I think it's like funny, but I don't see how that would affect or change your gameplay, except for maybe make it easier for people to like shoot you. But there is a perk for Torbjorn, where you can repair anyone with armor with your hammer. I think it's really funny. I don't think it particularly helps a lot. Like, if both of your supports are alive, I don't think it actually does anything. But if it was just like you and your tank, I think it's hilarious. It also gives your turret more health, but I'm not super sure. I like playing Torbjorn, to be honest, but I try not to rely too much on my turret, because Torbjorn can actually do a decent amount of damage. Whether you're sniping long range or using the shotgun part of it. I am actually looking forward to playing comp, and it's not for ranked reasons. It's because of the weapon skins. Don't get me wrong, I do like to win, and a part of me still wants to achieve a high rank, as I was like bottom 500 in Overwatch 1 for a long time, and I managed to climb to plat, and then I was diamond at one point, but I eventually decided that it wasn't really worth the trouble a lot of the time, because people aren't super nice in ranked, especially in lower ranks. They are very angry, which I can understand. It is frustrating. But there's not a whole lot you can really do about certain things. Like, if someone on your team is underperforming, getting mad at them isn't going to make them play better. I've talked about this before. And another random side note, that people seem to think pretty poorly about people with endorsement level 5. I will say it is kind of ironic when you have someone on your team that's endorsement level 5 and they're actually quite toxic. But if you only have one game with them, it's kind of hard to tell if they're toxic all the time, or if it was just kind of that one-off kind of thing. That doesn't really warrant their behavior, but I think I can understand why some people are just toxic. Because I do have my own moments where I feel like I want to say something, and because I'm frustrated with my own gameplay and my own experience, and I feel like I need to bring other people into that space, even though that's not really my intention and it's not actually what I want, but it's frustration that I don't really know how to deal with. And I think that's how a lot of people kind of operate in gaming spaces. Unfortunately, I kind of lost what I was talking about because there was some loudness going on. Because I think I did have a point that I was trying to get to. I'm very long-winded with explanations and telling stories because I feel like I need to add a lot of context, which I know you don't need to, but that's kind of how I work. I do wish that the competitive drive points from the last competitive drive could have gone towards the new skins. I know why they didn't, but at the same time it's kind of strange because the whole kind of point was that like jade weapons wouldn't be available anymore, but they actually are still available because they changed it. So I feel like they could maybe change that for the galactic weapons, but I'm not sure. that is actually something that they will do. I do want one for every hero, whether I play them or not. I do play mystery heroes from time to time. There was a moment in time where I kind of exclusively only played mystery heroes because I didn't really want to pick my hero, and I didn't really want the stress of like picking a hero and then people flaming me for it. And I really do try to ignore those things, but there was a moment in time where I couldn't, and it would really weigh on me. And I think that's also something that I've kind of been struggling with a bit. Not necessarily people saying those things to me, but kind of noticing my own frustration and being tilted in games. And it's really no one's fault for me feeling like this. And my own frustration isn't really coming from having like bad games, because I will have games that are actually quite good and I still feel frustrated, and I know that it actually really has nothing to do with my teammates or the enemy team. It's kind of more my own inability to perform well and being frustrated with that, but also just kind of having not the best mood lately. And I feel like it affects my gameplay and my ability to enjoy games, because most of the time I don't really get angry at Overwatch. And when I do get angry, I know that it's because my personal stuff is kind of melting into my enjoyment or my de-stress, decompression time. Which I think it's kind of better that I can record over top of these, because I feel like my frustration is a little more apparent than I would like it to be in some of my recordings. And I personally don't like hearing people being frustrated and tilted. I feel like if you're feeling that way in a game, you need to take a break. You need to do something else so that you don't feel that way anymore. If you consistently feel that way, maybe that game isn't for you, or that mode, or that hero, that role. Some kind of reevaluation needs to be done, because games are supposed to be fun. They're not supposed to make you crash out, lose your mental, break your computer, break your desk. That's not what it's there for. You're supposed to be having fun. And I think a lot of people forget that. I am super excited for the Seraphim collab. I really liked the previous collab. I only have the Kiriko skin. I'm contemplating getting the other ones if they do happen to bring them out again. I'm not sure if they will or not. I don't really play Tracer Sombra these days, so I'm not sure that would be super worth it, especially since I don't really like the Tracer one. I feel like it looks really basic and kind of just looks like it's a base skin recolor, even though I know it's not, but that's just kind of the vibe that it's giving. And the Sombra one is really good, but I hardly ever play Sombra. Though I think the collab will be coming out pretty close to my birthday. I think their new album is releasing on the 14th, and my birthday is the 15th. I don't think the collab will come out exactly on either of those days. I think it would either be the 13th or whatever the following Tuesday is, because the 14th is a Friday. And if they stick with how they usually update games, it's usually on a Tuesday or a Thursday. Shop update is always Tuesday, but sometimes they roll out patches on Thursdays if they're adding new content. Bug fixes are kind of different, but most patches and all shop updates happen on Tuesdays, usually around noon MST. I'm MST, so that's how I know, but I guess if you think of it as them being in California, it's always 11 PST. And I'm speculating some people that I think are going to be getting skins. I know that there was a member who tweeted emojis, and some people think it's about Overwatch, but there is no actual confirmation that that is what she's talking about. But if it is, these are kind of my guesses based off that. So there's an ice cream cone, and the only people I can really think of for this is Arissa or Venture. And it's because they both have ice cream skins. I would say I don't really think it's going to be Venture, just because I feel like Ashe is going to be getting one. But if it's not Ashe, it's Mauga. But I think they'll also kind of stick to kind of like the team comp kind of thing, where they had like the 1 tank, 2 DPS, 1 support, or 2 supports. Because that's what they did for the last one. I know they can change it or whatever, but this is just my thoughts and my opinions. I don't really think it'll be Venture, but you never know. I think May, because there was an ice cube, and the only person that really fits into that is May. I can't really think of anyone else that it would be. There's also a moth that could either be Mercy or Echo, but I think it's Echo because there's also Angel Wings, and Angel Wings work better with Mercy. Some people speculate Pharah, but I don't think Pharah really fits into either of those emojis. At least I don't really think of that when I think of Pharah. And I think that is there another one? Ice cream cone, moth, ice block. Maybe not, because I was thinking there's a lot of things to think about in this, because now that I'm thinking about all the picks that I made, there's only one support, and it's Mercy. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I like to believe that they'll make the free skin Lucio, because it would be kind of a dishonor not to give him one. I feel like he is a music character. Though I feel like they could give one to Mauga, Ramatra, and Sigma. But I guess we will see. I am most definitely probably going to get the K-pop skins. I love K-pop. I don't listen to a lot of K-pop. Like, I don't listen to it exclusively. I just listen to some things here and there. but I do enjoy it. I definitely enjoy the skins. I loved KDA and League of Legends. Don't love playing League of Legends, but I love the skins. They're great. And I love the songs as well. And I think the new mode that's coming out next season will be really fun and really interesting. It's very similar, I guess, ish to Junkenstein, but also kind of Valorant, just in their like ecosystem or economy. I can't remember what it's called. I don't really play Valorant. I don't have much intention to really play it that much. I like the idea of Valorant, but I can't really get into it. But I think buying upgrades for your heroes is cool. Playing in third person is interesting. I think I would only really do it if I was like playing Mercy though, because then I wouldn't necessarily have to aim that much. I find aiming in third person is actually quite hard, which is something I struggled with a lot in Marvel Rivals. But it is not the reason that I'm not super interested in Marvel Rivals. It really has nothing to do with the gameplay, because in a way it is very similar to Overwatch. You have your supports, your tanks, your DPS. I think the community doesn't feel very welcoming, and I guess I don't particularly like the no role queue thing. And it's not that I'm stuck on a certain number of people for certain roles. It's more of everyone picking DPS, and I'm playing support because I like it, but yet I'm constantly getting kind of yelled at and flamed for not healing when I have to support 5 other people and also try to keep myself alive. And that's kind of where it just kind of feels bad. And to be honest, I'm not a Marvel girly, like whatsoever. I don't really like Marvel. I don't like DC. I'm just not really into like superhero kind of stuff. I think the only ones that I watched a lot of were only because like my family was watching them, but I don't really go out of my way to see them or consume that content. And I don't hate anyone that enjoys that. It's just not something that I particularly enjoy, just for reference. There may be a chance that I want to pick it up again in the future, but I have this really bad habit of being kind of really excited for a game to come out, and I hype it up a lot in my mind, and then when it comes out it just kind of feels really lackluster. It happened with Diablo 4. I was really excited to play that. I played the beta that they had, and then I was also playing Diablo Immortal because a friend of mine had like a sponsor, and I thought I would try it. And I also recently played, I think, Diablo 2 and 3 around that time, and I really enjoyed that. But and it also kind of has that like top-down thing of like Lost Ark, which I also liked. I didn't play that as much as I expected to either. I also was really excited for the finals, and it felt really fun to play the playtest and the beta and the alpha, what have you. But then when it actually released, because I found out, I think it was it the Game Awards? And they're like, it's actually free to play right now, or you can download it right now. And I absolutely lost my mind. I was so excited. And I maybe played for like a week or two, and then I'm like, this doesn't give me any joy that I thought it would. And I still don't really play it much anymore. I don't really have any intention to play it. I don't really feel like playing it. And that's okay. I am super excited for Watch. I love magical girls. I grew up watching Sailor Moon. I loved the Star Guardian universe in League. I liked the skins, I liked the story, I liked specifically the Porter Robinson song that came out with the second rendition of Star Guardian. I think it was the second one. And I got the Kaisa skin because I really like Kaisa. I think she's fun. I only really play her in ARAM. Well, I only really play ARAM to begin with, so. But I'm also just not super interested in League these days either. I think there's just other games that I'd rather be playing. I'm also curious if those watching prefer longer videos or shorter videos. I mean, half an hour is quite long anyways. But I think if I do a different style of videos, I'm not exactly sure if I can yap for an hour. My throat is already feeling quite tired and dry. I really need to drink more water. And I know I don't necessarily need to yap this much, but I am just a yapper at heart. I usually just don't really say a lot in certain situations because I'm either uncomfortable, anxious, or I feel like some people just don't necessarily care to listen, which is totally fine. But yes, I think I'm going to keep my videos a little shorter, actually, at least. Well, we'll see. Maybe I'll just have to do it in parts. But for right now, I'm just going to say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.